mother says to their children at least once in their lifetime. We've all questioned this statement and wondered, what if they're not? For many of us, this instance is usually our first lesson about self-worth. It sparks the moment where we begin thinking about how we see ourselves through the eyes of others and whether we shrink or speak up. And in that moment, whether we realize it or not, the journey to self-discovery begins. People often think that self-discovery is about figuring out who you want to become. In reality, it's about learning to find your voice and stand up for yourself, discover and explore your unknown abilities, and help others in the same situations. It's about embracing your strengths and forgetting silence. Hello, I'm Mariam Mohammad, and today I want to share that when we stop hiding, we don't just change how others see us, we change who we allow ourselves to become. I learned this lesson very early in life. From the age of 5 years old, I struggled with multiple dermatological conditions, including dyshydrotic eczema, folliculitis, and photoaggravated eczema. I was taken to countless doctors and specialists. I was put under several laser machines and was given more topical treatments than anyone could count. Nothing changed. What changed instead was how I saw myself. What my young self truly focused on was what other people were thinking about me. Why am I being treated differently? Why do other kids look at me weird? Why me? As the eczema spread, I tried to hide it. First with long shirts, then sweatpants, and eventually long sleeves, even in the summer. However, hiding became impossible when it appeared on my hands. Every day at school, I heard comments like, "Why do her hands look like that?" My hands burnt and stung, but the physical pain felt easier to endure than the humiliation of hearing, "Ew, what is that?" For a long time, I thought that if I could hide well enough, I could protect myself. Eventually, something shifted. After repetitively running away from the things that hurt me, I realized that hiding wasn't protecting me. It was silencing me. So one day, when someone laughed and said, "Her hands are ugly," I simply replied with, "Yeah, it's eczema." That moment didn't erase my struggles with eczema, but it did give me something far more powerful. It gave me the ability to control my own story. It gave me resilience, confidence, and self-awareness, the tools that protected me far more than long sleeves ever could. Self-discovery doesn't begin the moment things get easier. It's when we choose to stop hiding. For you, it may be your background, your accent, your interests, or simply feeling different. By embracing who I am, I learned that discovering yourself is not about becoming perfect, but about refusing to let others define you. The moment we stop hiding, we begin discovering our voice. And when we do so, other people's opinions don't disappear. They simply lose their power. Finding your voice and embracing who you are also opens the door to discovering abilities you didn't know you had. When you embrace what you value and believe in, regardless of others' opinions, you open the door to your growth. According to recent studies, being self-aware has a great correlation with overall psychological well-being and better mental health. This correlation demonstrates that self-discovery plays a crucial role in overall psychological well-being. When people dedicate the time to discover who they truly are, they gain the clarity needed to recognize untapped abilities and strengths. Let's all take a moment to appreciate this perfectly smooth, flat blank paper. Imagine this paper is you. We can write, draw, and craft with this paper. And as life moves forward, we may experience many difficulties. Financial struggles, social pressure, illness, loss, failure. At this point in one's life, most would choose to quit. They stay the same. They focus on what happened to them instead of what they could change. Thomas Edison once said, "I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset separates those who stay stuck from those who choose to rediscover themselves. Only a few choose to look beyond their setbacks, rediscover their true selves, and unlock new opportunities and abilities they may not have had in the past. So with a bit of perseverance, confidence, hard work, and awareness, this paper can be revisited. Even though the effect of the trauma may still be visible by the wrinkles on this paper, the paper has regained its abilities. We're now able to write, draw, and craft with this paper, as we would have done in the first place. Those wrinkles don't ruin the paper. They tell the story of everything it has survived, and it's still capable of creating something meaningful. Self-discovery starts when we pause and ask ourselves, is this experience shaping or shrinking me? Why am I choosing this? And am I reacting to fear or responding to what I truly believe in? These questions don't remove hardship. They help us understand it, which gives us the clarity needed to grow rather than stay stuck. The benefits of self-discovery extend beyond ourselves as they ripple out to those around us. Many people may believe that discovering your true self only impacts you as an individual. However, research shows it can influence a society as a whole. A meta-analysis on authenticity reviewed 75 studies with over 36,000 participants and found that authenticity and self-discovery are reliably linked with greater personal well-being and engagement in life and work. In other words, those who choose to listen to themselves don't just survive. They create, contribute, and inspire. History gives us a powerful example of this. Malala Yousafzai. Malala lived in an environment where girls' education was discouraged and punished. Rather than hiding her beliefs, as many were expected to do at the time, Malala demanded more opportunities for girls' education. Many expected silence. She chose to speak. Even when it meant putting her life at risk, she stayed true to herself and not only transformed her life, she inspired global change and access to education. Her self-discovery is what gave her something stronger than fear, clarity about what she believed mattered. When people choose to understand and follow what they believe in, they don't just change themselves. They give others the permission to do the same. Malala's courage is one of the reasons I'm able to stand here today. She stood up to those who tried to silence her and discovered her own voice. And that is what makes a voice powerful. Not when it is loud, but when it refuses to disappear. And when it does, it echoes louder than silence ever could. This isn't about escaping life. It's about recognizing the exits that are built in. Sometimes, the things we use to protect ourselves, fear, silence, or the image we present to others, slowly become the things that trap us. Before every flight, we're told the same thing. The nearest emergency exit may be behind you. We hear it so often that we choose not to listen. We assume we'll never need it. But the truth is, emergency exits exist for moments we don't expect. Self-discovery works the same way. For many of us, hiding doesn't look obvious. It can look like silence. It can look like trying to fit into expectations. Sometimes, it can even look like carefully choosing the version of ourselves that feels safest to show the world. Every day, we make sure that our hair looks good, that we smell nice, and that our shoes are always clean. We spend so much time choosing the right shirt for the world to see. But self-discovery starts when we start listening to what has been hidden beneath. It is what makes our decisions, builds us thoughts, and guides us through hardships. Our voice. Because discovering yourself means recognizing that there has always been another way forward. It means choosing yourself over fear. It means allowing yourself to be seen, even when it feels uncomfortable. When people recognize their own exits, they make their own decisions rather than wait for permission. That is what self-discovery changes. Not who you are, but the choices you are willing to make. And just like an emergency exit, self-discovery doesn't remove life's challenges. It reminds us that we're never as stuck as we think we are. Every time we choose to speak instead of hide, Every time we choose courage instead of comfort. Every time we choose to trust our voice over the noise around us, we take one step closer to discovering who we truly are. And maybe the next time someone tells you they're just jealous of you, you won't question your worth because you'll already know something far more powerful. You were never meant to hide in the first place.